Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today I want to talk about, well, not transgenderism per se, but the legal ramifications of this increasing recognition, or I would say creating, of rights for people of one sex who define themselves to be of the opposite sex. Or you have people saying, our liberal friends though on the left, those people saying that there aren't just two sexes, but I lost count, I think somebody said as many as 30. The problem is that, well, an obvious one, if you're a parent with a daughter, do you want a young daughter, a 10-year-old daughter, 12-year-old, do you really want them sharing a public restroom with a 35-year-old guy in a dress? Also, this used to be called gender dysphoria. It was a medical condition, a psychological problem that psychiatrists would try to correct. Now, which I consider part and parcel of this, I won't say dumbing down, but just crudifying, making more crude our society by getting rid of all societal norms and really just saying that anything goes, just normalizing any kind of behavior. But transgenderism creates special problems. The one I just told you about, of men sharing public restrooms, biological males sharing restrooms with females, with young girls, or even adult girls. I mean, if you're a voyeur, that's perfect. Just put on a dress, have fun, right? So that's what this law now allows. The other problem, as you may have read, is sports, where you have biological males who identify as women competing in, say, female volleyball instead of male volleyball, or especially female track and field instead of male track and field. What happens is, well, don't be surprised, but these biological males are winning. I read of one track event, a race, where the first and second place winners were biological males in the women's division. So if you're a biological female, what's the point of entering a contest where you know there are going to be biological males competing? Because you haven't got a chance. Unless you're really extraordinary, you're going to lose. Now, how do we solve this problem? Because the Supreme Court recently declined to hear a case, or as they say in the legal language, grant certiorari. They did not grant certiorari for a case involving transgender bathrooms. So it's okay for a state to legislate transgender bathrooms. And also, getting back for a second, you have also children, young kindergarten children, who now have to share the bathroom with somebody of the biological opposite sex. And what does it do to the transgender young kids? What does it do to them to be allowed to identify as the opposite sex at an earlier age? I mean, people could be affected for the rest of their lives. So I'm not going to get into the details of that and all the ramifications today. What I want to suggest is a way to solve the problem, because transgender rights supporters claim that it's discrimination not to allow somebody who identifies as female to use the ladies' room, and vice versa. So how do you solve this problem to keep the sexes separate, the two sexes, if you're traditional, well, I will just say a normal person who understands that there are only two sexes, and it's your biological sex, it's your chromosomes, and that is the answer, chromosomes. So here's my suggestion. It prevents discrimination, and most important, it keeps all the biological males using one restroom, all the biological females using the other restroom, a separate one. All you have to do is go by chromosome instead of labels. So you would have one door that would have been the men's room. Instead of saying men, it would have an X and a Y, which would mean X chromosome and Y chromosome. That means if you have an X chromosome and a Y chromosome, that's the restroom that you use. Similarly, if you have two X chromosomes, then you have to use the door with two X's, XX. Everybody with two X chromosomes uses that door. Now, how does this prevent discrimination? It does it very simply, because everybody, well, two things. Number one, if we're talking about the XX door, I'm sorry, over here, if we're talking the invisible door, the XY door is there, the XX door is there. So if you have two X chromosomes, on the one hand, you must use the room with the door marked XX. Also, if you have an XX chromosome, you cannot be denied the use of the room with the door that says XX. And going over to the XY, if you have an X chromosome and a Y chromosome, then you must use that door. You cannot use the XX door, you must use the XY door, and you cannot be denied the right to use the XY room with the XY on the door. So if you're a guy wearing a dress, if you're a biological male who identifies as a woman, you must use the XY room. We're not calling you a man or a woman. We're not discriminating by sex. We're not even mentioning sex. We're just talking about chromosomes. If you have an X and a Y, you use that room. If you have two X's, you use that room. That solves the problem. That should survive any legal challenge. And that's it for today. As usual, thanks for stopping by. As usual, I hope to see you again. As usual, thumbs up if you like the video. Share it with anybody who you think could benefit from the video. Share the whole channel, actually, not just the video. You could also put comments in the comment section below the video. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like me to cover, then put that in the section below the video. If you have a Twitter account, you could tweet the URL either to this video, to other videos, or to the whole channel again, to your followers, and you can invite them to retweet. And finally, you could subscribe, and then you would know about these videos the instant that I post one. That's it. As I just said, thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again, and all of your friends and relatives too. Invite them along. Bye.